just wanted to do a follow-up on some thoughts about habits and mental health. There's good habits and there's bad habits for your mental health, and we all know we can probably point to some. So I want to do a few thoughts on that. Some of the good ones that I've found, as I mentioned yesterday, are exercise and sleep. In particular, sleep is just so vital for mental health. Getting the right amount, not too much, not too little. You want your Goldilocks. Usually people say about 7 to 9 hours of sleep is a good goal to go for most people. Some people brag about, I only need 4 to 6 hours of sleep a night. Well, either they're lying or they're outlier. So I wouldn't strive for 4 to 6 hours. I mean, I don't think that's healthy in the first place. But that being said, 7 to 9 hours is kind of the general rule of thumb. That's what I aim for. As a side note, I used to aim for 8 hours a night, and I constantly felt like I just wasn't getting enough. And then I went to 7 hours a night, and it made me feel better just seeing this little star on my Fitbit app, which is how I work. I go for gold stars as a 40-year-old man. So there you go. There's also bad mental habits, which one of them is called ruminating. When you just chew on the same thing again and again and again, it's not healthy, and I would advise you to find a way to stop doing it. It's not as easy as stop, just tell yourself, oh, stop doing that, don't do that anymore. That's very rarely the case. You need to figure out how to replace that with a positive thinking habit. So rather than rumination, there's, in the Bible, it talks about think about things that are pure, excellent, praiseworthy, things like that. So everyone's got something to think about, no matter how hard their life is. We see this from the saints' lives in the Bible and throughout the centuries, right? Like Paul talked about thinking about things that are excellent or praiseworthy when he was in chains. So we certainly have no excuse to get bombarded with ruminations about negative things. Another bad mental habit, I would say, is thinking the worst in others. Oftentimes, we're tempted to explain our outbursts or our actions as a result of consequences of that day, whereas with others, we're more likely to attribute it to their character. So say someone pulls over in front of you in traffic and you lose it in road rage. You're more likely to say, well, that person's being a jerk, or I didn't sleep well last night, or I've had so many problems today. Whereas if you pull over in front of someone else and you can see they're super mad, you can say, well, that's just an angry tempered person. That's just a short-tempered person. Whereas in reality, it's the same exact thing, but it's someone else in your shoes. And I think it's called the attribution bias or not confirmation bias, something like attribution bias, where you attribute their reaction as a character flaw rather than a result of their circumstances or situation, as you do when it's yourself. So that'd be another negative mental habit I would work on breaking, and I still struggle with that to this day. But those are some more positive and negative mental health habits. I'll be expounding upon those more in the future.